Most people misunderstand calmness. They see someone who remains quiet under pressure, and they assume that person is passive, soft, harmless. They believe that emotional intensity is a sign of strength, that anger shows power, that loud reactions show conviction. But the truth is the opposite. Calm people are often the most dangerous people in the room, not because they want to hurt others, but because they cannot be controlled. Emotional people are predictable. Their reactions can be anticipated. Their decisions can be influenced. Their behavior can be manipulated by triggering the right feelings. Calm people are different. They do not react automatically. They observe first, and that single difference changes everything. Emotion is fast. It is immediate. It pushes you to act before you think. When someone insults you, emotion pushes you to respond instantly, to defend yourself, to prove something. But calm interrupts that chain. Calm creates distance between stimulus and response. And in that distance, there is power. Because in that space, you choose. Most people never develop this ability. They live in a constant state of reaction. Their environment controls their internal state. If something goes wrong, they become anxious. If someone disrespects them, they become angry. If something is uncertain, they become afraid. Their mind does not belong to them. It belongs to whatever happens around them. Calm people reclaim ownership of their mind. They experience the same emotion. They feel anger. They feel fear. They feel uncertainty, but they do not obey those emotions automatically. They observe them. They allow them to exist without surrendering control. This is not natural. It is trained. No one is born calm under pressure. Calm is built through repeated exposure to discomfort, through moments where reacting emotionally would be easier, through situations where panic would be natural. Each time a person resists that reaction, they strengthen something invisible, self-control. And self-control compounds. At first, it is difficult. The emotional impulse is strong. It demands action. It demands expression. But over time, the person learns that emotion is temporary. They learn that reacting emotionally rarely improves the situation. They learn that silence can be more effective than reaction. This realization changes how they move through the world. Calm people do not waste energy proving themselves. They do not need immediate validation. They do not need to win every interaction, because they are not operating on impulse. They are operating on intention. This makes them difficult to manipulate. Manipulation depends on emotional leverage. If someone can make you angry, they can make you act irrationally. If someone can make you afraid, they can make you hesitate. If someone can make you insecure, they can make you seek approval. Calm removes that leverage. When emotional pressure is applied, calm people do not collapse. They do not rush to relieve the discomfort. They tolerate it, and that tolerance gives them an advantage. This is why elite performers train emotional control. Not because they lack emotion, but because emotion without control is a liability. Consider a soldier in a high-risk environment. Fear is present. Fear is unavoidable. But reacting to fear without control can lead to fatal mistakes. Training does not remove fear. It removes automatic obedience to fear. The soldier learns to function despite fear. The same is true in high-level athletics. An athlete under pressure feels anxiety. They feel expectation. They feel tension. But the ones who perform at the highest level are not the ones who eliminate those emotions. They are the ones who remain calm inside them. Because calm preserves clarity. Emotion narrows perception. It focuses attention on the threat. It reduces flexibility. Calm expands perception. It allows awareness of multiple possibilities. It allows better decisions, better timing, better judgment. Calm people conserve their energy. Emotional reactions are expensive. They consume mental resources. They drain attention. Calm preserves those resources. This is why calm people often appear more confident, not because they are always certain, but because they are not constantly destabilized by emotional fluctuations. Their internal state remains stable even when external conditions change. This stability creates consistency, and consistency creates trust. Others begin to recognize that calm people do not collapse under pressure. They do not become unreliable when situations become difficult. They remain steady. This steadiness makes them formidable, not aggressive, not loud, but difficult to disrupt, because disruption depends on emotional instability. Calm removes that vulnerability. This does not mean calm people never act. They act when action is necessary, but their actions are deliberate, not impulsive. Impulsive action is often inefficient. It prioritizes emotional relief over strategic effectiveness. Calm action prioritizes outcome. Calm people are willing to wait. They are willing to observe longer. They are willing to gather information before committing energy. This patience allows them to move with precision. Emotion seeks immediate release. Calm seeks correct timing. Timing often determines success more than intensity. Many people mistake intensity for effectiveness. They believe that acting quickly proves strength. But strength is not speed. Strength is control. Control over attention. Control over reaction. Control over behavior. Control over self. This is why calm people often advance quietly. They do not announce their intentions prematurely. They do not reveal every thought. They do not expose themselves unnecessarily. They move deliberately. They conserve psychological energy. This creates unpredictability, and unpredictability is powerful. When others cannot predict your reaction, they cannot easily influence you. This creates autonomy. True autonomy is not external. It is internal. It is the ability to remain stable, regardless of external circumstances. It is the ability to decide your response consciously. Most people never develop this ability because it requires discomfort. It requires resisting emotional impulses repeatedly. It requires restraint. Restraint feels unnatural at first. Emotion demands expression. Silence feels like suppression. But over time, restraint becomes strength, not suppression, not denial, but discipline. Discipline is not the absence of emotion. It is the presence of control. Calm people still feel everything. They simply do not surrender authority to those feelings. They maintain leadership over themselves, and self-leadership is rare. Most people are led by impulse. Impulse prioritizes immediate comfort. Discipline prioritizes long-term stability. Calm is the visible result of that discipline. It is not an accident. It is not personality. It is practice. Each moment of restraint strengthens it. Each moment of observation deepens it. Each moment of deliberate response reinforces it. Over time, calm becomes natural, not because emotion disappears, but because control becomes automatic. This transforms how a person moves through the world. They are no longer pulled in every direction by emotional currents. They choose their direction. They choose their pace. They choose their response. This makes them resilient. Resilience is not toughness. It is stability. It is the ability to absorb pressure without breaking. Calm is the foundation of that stability. This is why calm people are more dangerous than emotional ones. Not dangerous in the sense of harm, but dangerous in the sense of independence. They cannot be easily influenced. They cannot be easily destabilized. They cannot be easily controlled. They operate from intention, not reaction. They move from clarity, not impulse. They conserve energy. They observe carefully. They act deliberately. And this quiet control accumulates over time. It creates strength that does not need to announce itself. Strength that does not need validation. Strength that exists quietly. Calm is not something you are born with. It is something you build through discipline, through awareness, through repeated choice. And each time you choose control over reaction, you become harder to destabilize, harder to manipulate, harder to stop. Not louder, not more aggressive, but stronger, quietly.